Have you ever felt like life is bigger than what you've been told? Like there's something about your existence, something about your very soul, that goes beyond the here and now? What if the answers to those questions have been hidden in plain sight, buried in ancient texts that reveal a truth so profound, so powerful, that it could completely change how you see yourself? These texts don't just talk about who you are, they speak about what you were before you were born. This isn't just speculation or myth, it's wisdom that has been passed down for millennia, whispered in sacred scriptures, etched into ancient philosophies, and even referenced in some of the world's most transformative spiritual teachings. And yet, for most of us, this knowledge has been kept out of reach, hidden behind layers of distraction, misinterpretation, and control. You weren't just born into this world randomly. You came here with a purpose. You existed before you arrived. And understanding what happened before you were born can unlock truths about your life that you may have never even considered. Before we dive deeper, think about this. Have you ever experienced a moment of déjà vu so strong it felt like you were remembering something from another lifetime? Or maybe you've met someone who felt so familiar it was as if you'd known them forever. These aren't just coincidences. They're echoes of something greater. Ancient texts from around the world have spoken about the soul's existence before birth, about a realm of preparation and understanding where our choices, our challenges, and even our purpose were shaped. And if you're willing to open your mind to this possibility, you'll begin to see that your life, your relationships, and your struggles are far from random. In some of the oldest spiritual writings, the soul's journey is described as eternal. It doesn't begin with birth, and it doesn't end with death. In the Vedas, the ancient texts of India, the soul is seen as timeless, moving through cycles of existence, learning and growing with each incarnation. In Greek philosophy, Plato spoke about the soul's pre-existence, its journey through the realm of forms, where it gained knowledge before being born into the physical world. Even the Bible hints at this idea in subtle but profound ways, like when the prophet Jeremiah is told by God, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." But what does this mean for you right now? If your soul existed before your body, what were you doing? What choices did you make? And how do those choices shape the life you're living today? These are the questions that the ancient texts invite us to explore. They suggest that before you were born, your soul was part of a divine process, a process of preparation, of alignment, and of choosing the experiences that would help you grow into the fullest version of yourself. Imagine this for a moment. Before you arrived here, in this body, in this lifetime, you existed in a place of pure understanding. You weren't bound by time or physical form. You were part of something infinite, something eternal, and in that state you made decisions. You chose the lessons you wanted to learn, the challenges you wanted to face, and the gifts you wanted to bring into the world. You weren't assigned a life randomly. You participated in its creation. The joys, the struggles, the people you've encountered, all of it was designed to help you evolve, to help you remember who you truly are. But here's the part they don't tell you. This knowledge, this awareness of your pre-birth existence has been buried. It's been hidden beneath layers of dogma, skepticism, and societal conditioning. Why? Because when you realize that you are more than your physical body, more than your earthly experiences, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop living as a victim of circumstance and start living as a conscious participant in your soul's journey. And that kind of awakening is disruptive to the systems that thrive on keeping you small, distracted, and disconnected from your true nature. This isn't just a spiritual concept, it's a truth that resonates across cultures and traditions. In Tibetan Buddhism, the Bardo Thodo, also known as the Tibetan Book of the Dead, describes a state of existence between death and rebirth where the soul gains clarity about its purpose and its next steps. In Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah speaks of the soul's descent into the physical world as a journey to fulfill a divine mission. And even in indigenous traditions, there are stories of the soul choosing its parents, its challenges, and its purpose before entering this life. So what does this mean for you, sitting here right now? It means that you're not here by accident. Your life has meaning, your challenges have purpose, and your soul has been on a journey far longer than you've been aware. The ancient texts remind us that life is a school, a place where we come to grow, to learn, and to remember the divine essence that resides within us. But here's the catch. When you're born, you forget. The process of coming into this physical world often comes with a veil, a forgetting of where you came from and why you're here. This forgetting isn't a punishment, it's part of the process. It allows you to fully immerse yourself in the human experience, to navigate life's highs and lows, to make choices from a place of free will. But every now and then something stirs within you, a sense that there's more to life than what you can see, a longing for answers, a curiosity about the unseen. That's your soul, calling you to remember. It's the part of you that knows you are more than your name, your job, your possessions. It's the part of you that has existed long before this life and will continue to exist long after. But how do you begin to access this knowledge? How do you start to remember what happened before you were born? The ancient texts offer clues, but the answers aren't found in the words alone. They're found within you. Practices like meditation, prayer, and introspection help quiet the noise of the world so you can hear the whispers of your soul. Dreams, synchronicities, and moments of deep intuition are other ways that the universe speaks to you, reminding you of the bigger picture. Pay attention to the patterns in your life. Are there recurring themes, lessons, or relationships that seem to follow you wherever you go? These are often clues to the agreements your soul made before coming here. Maybe you've always felt drawn to help others, to create, to heal, or to lead. These aren't random interests. They're reflections of your soul's purpose. And the challenges you face, they're not here to punish you. They're here to teach you, to strengthen you, to prepare you for the work your soul came to do. Understanding your pre-birth existence doesn't mean you'll suddenly have all the answers. It's not about figuring out every detail of your soul's journey. It's about connecting to the essence of who you are, a timeless, infinite being with a purpose that extends far beyond this lifetime. It's about seeing your life not as a series of random events, but as a beautifully orchestrated dance of growth, learning, and awakening. Once you start to see your life as part of a larger divine plan, everything begins to change. You realize that the moments of struggle, the heartbreaks, and even the moments of loss were not meant to break you. They were meant to wake you up. They were designed to remind you of the strength, resilience, and infinite potential that has always existed within you. Because before you were born, your soul understood that growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in the face of challenge. The ancient texts speak of this preparation, describing how the soul chooses its path before entering the physical world. In some traditions, it's said that the soul reviews its karmic lessons, understanding the areas where growth is needed and the experiences that will bring that growth about. Imagine this: a soul, free of fear, free of ego, standing before the infinite wisdom of the universe, mapping out the life it is about to live. It chooses its parents, its circumstances, and even the challenges it will face, not as a punishment, but as an opportunity to evolve. Now you might be wondering, why would I choose the pain I've endured? Why would I willingly walk into a life filled with difficulties? That's a question many people ask when they begin exploring the concept of pre-existence. But here's the truth. Your soul didn't choose pain for the sake of suffering. It chose experiences that would teach you, refine you, and ultimately lead you back to the truth of who you are. The hardships you face are not evidence of failure, they are evidence of your strength. Your soul knew you were capable of overcoming them, and in doing so, you would discover your true power. Think about it. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in your life have likely come after moments of intense struggle. The times when you were forced to dig deep, to find courage you didn't know you had, to lean on your faith and trust that something greater was guiding you. Those moments weren't random, they were part of the plan. They were the experiences your soul chose to help you remember your own divinity. But the beauty of this knowledge is that it doesn't just apply to the past. Understanding your pre-birth existence also empowers you to shape your future. When you realize that your soul is eternal, that it came here with a purpose, you begin to approach life differently. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance and start seeing yourself as a co-creator with the universe. You recognize that every choice you make, every thought you think, and every emotion you feel is contributing to the reality you're creating. This is where free will comes into play. Even though your soul chose the framework of your life before birth, you still have the power to make choices within that framework. You can choose how you respond to challenges. You can choose whether to let fear hold you back or to move forward in faith. You can choose whether to align with your soul's purpose or to ignore it. The choice is always yours, and the power to shape your life is always within you. But what does it mean to align with your soul's purpose? How do you know if you're on the right path? The ancient teachings offer guidance here as well. They tell us that alignment feels like flow. It feels like peace, even in the midst of uncertainty. It feels like inspiration, like joy, like a deep sense of knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be. When you're aligned with your purpose, life doesn't necessarily become easier, but it becomes more meaningful. You start to see the challenges as opportunities. You start to trust the timing of your life, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. One way to align with your purpose is to reconnect with your inner self, the part of you that existed long before this lifetime and will continue to exist long after. Practices like meditation, journaling, and quiet reflection can help you tap into this part of yourself. These practices create space for you to hear the whispers of your soul, to feel the guidance that has always been there. Pay attention to what lights you up, what makes you feel alive, what brings you peace. These are clues from your soul, pointing you toward your purpose. Another powerful way to align with your purpose is to look for patterns in your life. Are there certain themes or lessons that keep showing up? Maybe you've noticed that you're often put in situations where you have to step into a leadership role, even when it feels uncomfortable. Or maybe you've experienced repeated opportunities to forgive, to heal, or to help others. These patterns are not coincidences. They're part of your soul's journey. They're reminders of the lessons you came here to learn and the gifts you came here to share. And as you begin to live in alignment with your soul's purpose, something incredible happens. You start to feel a sense of peace that isn't tied to your external circumstances. You realize that your worth isn't determined by what you achieve or what others think of you. Your worth is inherent. It comes from the fact that you are a divine being, a soul on an eternal journey. This realization frees you from the need to prove yourself, to seek validation, or to compare your path to anyone else's. But here's the most beautiful part. When you live in alignment with your soul's purpose, you don't just transform your own life, you also impact the lives of everyone around you. Your energy, your light, your authenticity, it inspires others to awaken to their own truth. You become a living example of what's possible when we embrace our divinity and live from a place of purpose and love. This is how we create a ripple effect, how we bring more light into the world, one soul at a time. So now the question is, how will you use this knowledge? How will you honor the soul that chose this life, this body, and this path? Will you continue to live as though you're just a product of chance, or will you embrace the truth that you are here for a reason? The ancient texts remind us that our lives are sacred, that every moment is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to remember who we are. This is your invitation to step into that truth, to live with intention, and to trust that everything you need is already within you. Your soul's journey didn't begin at birth, and it won't end at death. You are eternal, infinite, and connected to a divine source of wisdom and love. The more you remember this, the more you'll begin to see the magic in everyday life, the synchronicities, the lessons, the beauty of it all. This is the truth that has been hidden for centuries, that you are so much more than you've been told. And now that you know, there's no limit to what you can create, to who you can become, and to the impact you can have on the world. When you truly accept that your soul's journey didn't begin at birth, life takes on a whole new meaning. You start to see that every experience you've had, every person you've met, and every challenge you've faced is a part of something much bigger. It's all been part of a grand divine tapestry, one that your soul began weaving long before it entered this world. And the beauty of it is, the weaving hasn't stopped. You are still creating, still shaping, still contributing to the masterpiece of your life. But there's something you need to know. Awakening to this truth doesn't mean the challenges disappear. In fact, it often means you'll start to notice them more clearly. You'll begin to see how certain patterns or struggles have repeated themselves, almost like they've been following you throughout your life. And this can feel overwhelming at first. Why does it feel like the same lesson keeps showing up? But here's the thing, these repeating patterns are not here to punish you, they're here to teach you, they're here to wake you up. Think of these patterns as echoes from the agreements your soul made before you were born. Perhaps your soul chose to work on forgiveness in this lifetime, so you've found yourself in situations where forgiveness is required over and over again. Or maybe your soul chose to learn how to trust, and as a result you've faced experiences that pushed you to let go of control. These patterns aren't random. They are invitations. Invitations to grow, to evolve, to step closer to the divine essence of who you are. But how do you begin to break free from the patterns that feel like they're holding you back? The first step is awareness. You can't change what you're not aware of. Start by looking at your life with fresh eyes. What are the recurring themes that seem to follow you? Is there a particular type of challenge or relationship dynamic that keeps showing up? These patterns are not coincidences. They're mirrors, reflecting the areas where your soul is asking you to grow. The more you pay attention, the more you'll begin to see the lessons hidden within them. And once you've identified these patterns, the next step is to approach them with curiosity rather than judgment. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, why does this keep happening to me? But a more powerful question is, what is this trying to teach me? When you shift from blame to curiosity, you open the door to transformation. You start to see the deeper meaning behind the challenges, and you begin to understand how they are shaping you into the person you were meant to become. As you do this inner work, something profound begins to happen. The patterns that once felt so heavy, so inescapable, start to lose their grip on you. You begin to break free from the cycles of pain, fear, and limitation. And in their place, you create space for something new possibilities, new opportunities, new levels of growth and fulfillment. This is the power of aligning with your soul's journey. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect, but it does mean life becomes purposeful. But let's take this a step further. Understanding your pre-birth existence isn't just about reflecting on the past. It's also about stepping boldly into the future. If your soul chose this life, this body, and this path, then it also chose the gifts you were meant to share with the world. Yes, you have gifts. Every single person does. They're the unique talents, passions, and strengths that set you apart. And when you align with these gifts, when you use them in service of something greater than yourself, you step into your power as a co-creator with the universe. So ask yourself, what are my gifts? What comes naturally to me? What lights me up, makes me feel alive, makes me lose track of time? These are the clues that point to your soul's purpose. And if you're not sure what your gifts are, start by paying attention to the moments when you feel most connected to yourself, to others, and to the world around you. Those moments hold the key to understanding what you're here to do. But discovering your gifts is only the first step. The next step is sharing them. Your gifts were never meant to be hidden, they were meant to be shared, to inspire, to heal, to uplift. And the more you share your gifts, the more you align with your purpose. The more you align with your purpose, the more you attract the opportunities and experiences that support your growth. This is the divine flow in action. When you give from a place of authenticity and love, the universe responds in kind. And let me be clear, sharing your gifts doesn't have to mean doing something grand or dramatic. It doesn't mean you have to change the world overnight. Sometimes the most powerful impact you can have is in the small everyday moments. A kind word, a helping hand, a smile that brightens someone's day. These are all expressions of your divine essence. Never underestimate the ripple effect of your actions. The light you bring into the world, no matter how small it may seem, has the power to reach further than you can imagine. But here's where many people get stuck. Fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of stepping into the unknown. This fear is natural, it's part of the human experience. But it's also an illusion. It's a barrier created by the ego to keep you safe, to keep you small. And while fear may feel real, it doesn't have to control you. The antidote to fear is faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your purpose, and faith in the divine energy that flows through you. When fear arises, remind yourself of this. You are not your fear. You are the soul behind the fear, the infinite being that existed long before this lifetime and will continue to exist long after. Fear is just a passing emotion, a shadow on the surface of your mind. It cannot touch the core of who you are. And the more you step into your truth, the more you'll realize that fear loses its power when you choose to move forward anyway. And as you move forward, as you step into the fullness of your divine nature, you'll begin to notice a profound sense of peace. This peace doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from within. It comes from knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. It comes from trusting that your soul's journey is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. And it comes from remembering that you are not separate from the universe. You are a part of it, an expression of its infinite wisdom and love. So what's next? How do you continue to integrate this knowledge into your life? The answer is simple: by living with intention. Every day, remind yourself of who you truly are, a soul on an eternal journey, a divine being with infinite potential. Approach each moment with curiosity, gratitude, and a willingness to learn. Trust the process, even when it feels messy. And most importantly, keep listening to the whispers of your soul. They will always guide you back to your truth. This is the gift of understanding your pre-birth existence. It's not just about knowing where you came from, it's about remembering why you're here. It's about living a life that is true to your soul's purpose, a life that reflects the beauty and power of the divine energy within you. This is your journey, this is your time, and the universe is waiting for you to step fully into the light of who you are. As you continue to reflect on your soul's journey and the knowledge of what existed before you were born, I want you to imagine what it feels like to carry this truth forward. Think about the weight that is lifted when you no longer view life as random, chaotic, or meaningless. Instead, you can see it as purposeful, a divine unfolding where every experience, whether joyful or challenging, is part of a greater plan. This realization doesn't just change how you see the past, it transforms how you live in the present and shapes how you move into the future. When you recognize that your soul chose this life, something profound happens. You stop resisting what is. The struggles you've faced, the lessons you've been tasked to learn, even the relationships that have tested you, they all begin to make sense. You realize they were never meant to harm you or hold you back. They were meant to guide you forward. They were meant to remind you of your strength, your resilience, and the infinite power you carry within. But this understanding isn't just about reflecting on the past or accepting the present. It's about actively stepping into your power as a creator. Because if your soul chose this life, this body, this journey, then you have a role to play in shaping your reality. You are not a passive participant in the unfolding of your destiny. You are an active co-creator, working alongside the universe to bring your purpose to life. This is where the concept of free will becomes so important. Before you were born, your soul may have chosen the framework of your life, the lessons you wanted to learn, the gifts you wanted to share, the challenges you wanted to overcome. But within that framework, you are free to make choices, and those choices determine how your journey unfolds. They determine whether you step into alignment with your soul's purpose or remain stuck in fear, doubt, and resistance. So, how do you begin to make choices that align with your soul's purpose? How do you know if you're on the right path? The answer lies within you. Your emotions, your intuition, and your inner sense of knowing are your greatest guides. When you're living in alignment with your soul's purpose, you feel a sense of peace, even when life is challenging. You feel a sense of flow, where things seem to fall into place effortlessly. You feel inspired, energized, and alive. On the other hand, when you're out of alignment, you'll feel it too. You may feel stuck, frustrated, or like you're constantly swimming against the current. You may feel a sense of heaviness, like something is missing, but you can't quite put your finger on it. These feelings are not signs of failure, they're signals. They're your soul's way of telling you to pause, reflect, and realign. One of the most powerful tools for realignment is stillness. In our busy, noisy world, it's easy to lose touch with your inner self. But when you take time to sit in stillness, whether through meditation, prayer, or simply being present, You create space for your soul to speak. You create space to hear the whispers of your intuition, to feel the gentle nudges of the divine, to reconnect with the part of you that has always known the truth. And as you reconnect, you'll begin to notice something incredible: the synchronicities. These are the moments when the universe seems to conspire in your favor, when things line up in ways that feel almost too perfect to be coincidences. Maybe it's a chance encounter with someone who offers you exactly what you needed at that moment. Maybe it's a book that falls into your hands at just the right time. Or maybe it's a sudden insight, a burst of clarity that feels like it came out of nowhere. These synchronicities are not random. They're signs that you're aligned with your soul's purpose. But alignment doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll never face challenges or make mistakes. In fact, those challenges and mistakes are often the greatest teachers. They remind you to stay humble, to stay curious, and to stay open to growth. They remind you that life is not about getting everything right. It's about learning, evolving, and becoming the highest version of yourself. And as you step into this version of yourself, you'll notice that your perspective on life begins to shift. You'll start to see the beauty in the ordinary, the magic in the mundane. You'll find joy in the simple act of being present, of connecting with others, of expressing your authentic self. You'll stop chasing happiness and start creating it. You'll stop seeking validation from others and start finding it within. This is the gift of understanding your pre-birth existence. It's not just about knowing where you came from. It's about remembering who you are. It's about reclaiming your power as a divine being, as a creator, as a soul on an infinite journey. And it's about using that power to make a difference, not just in your own life, but in the lives of others. Because here's the thing, your soul's purpose isn't just about you. It's about the ripple effect you create. When you live in alignment with your truth, you inspire others to do the same. Your light becomes a beacon, showing others what's possible. Your courage becomes a catalyst, empowering others to step into their own power. And your love becomes a force for transformation, healing, and connection. Imagine what the world could look like if more people awakened to this truth. Imagine a world where we all remembered that we are souls, not just bodies. Imagine a world where we lived with intention, with purpose, with love. This is the world we are capable of creating, and it starts with you. It starts with the choices you make, the energy you bring, and the way you show up in the world. So let me ask you, how will you choose to show up? Will you continue to live as though you are separate from the divine, as though your life is a series of random events? Or will you embrace the truth that has been calling to you all along, the truth that you are not separate, that you are connected, that you are divine? This is your moment. This is your invitation to step fully into the light of who you are, to live with intention, to create with purpose, and to love with an open heart. To trust that your soul's journey is unfolding exactly as it should, and to remember that no matter what happens, you are never alone. The universe is always with you, guiding you, supporting you, and loving you. Your life is a masterpiece, a story that began long before you were born and will continue long after you leave this world. And every chapter, every page, every word is meaningful. You are meaningful, your existence is meaningful, and now it's time to embrace that meaning, to live as the soul you were always meant to be. The ancient texts remind us of a truth that transcends time and space, that you are eternal, that you are infinite, and that you are loved. This is your legacy, this is your truth. And now that you know, there is nothing you cannot do. The universe is waiting, your soul is ready. The only question is, are you? And as you sit with this knowledge now, take a deep breath and let it settle. You weren't born into this world by chance. Long before your first breath, your soul was preparing, planning, aligning with a purpose so profound that it ripples through every moment of your life. This isn't just an idea, it's a reality. You are not just a human being experiencing a soul. You are a soul experience, and this journey, your life, is sacred. With this understanding comes responsibility, not in the heavy sense, but in the sense of opportunity. You have the opportunity to live with intention, to embrace each moment as part of your soul's divine plan, To face challenges not with fear but with curiosity, asking, what is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? To live in alignment with your gifts, your passions, your purpose. To inspire others by being the fullest, truest version of yourself. The ancient knowledge you've just uncovered is a doorway. On the other side of it lies a life of deeper meaning, richer connection and profound peace. But it's up to you to walk through it. The universe will meet you halfway, but you must take the first step. You must choose to believe in the truth of who you are, to trust in the wisdom of your soul, to live not as a being of limitation, but as a being of infinite potential. And as you do, remember this: the journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. The universe will continue to reveal itself to you, guiding you, teaching you, loving you. Your soul will continue to grow, to expand, to evolve, and the more you align with this truth, the more you'll begin to see the beauty in every moment, every experience, every breath. So now the question is, what will you do with this truth? How will you honor the soul that chose this life, this path, this moment? Will you step into the light of who you are, or will you let this knowledge remain just a thought, an idea? The choice is yours. But know this: the moment you choose to align with your divine essence, everything changes. Doors open, opportunities flow, and you begin to live not just a life, but a masterpiece. Your soul existed before you were born, and it will continue long after. This life is just one chapter in an infinite story, an extraordinary story that only you can tell. And now it's time to embrace it, to own it, to live it fully. The universe is ready, your soul is ready. The only thing left to do is say yes.